Welcome the three ladies who are going to present this session, Managing Information Overload to Find the Right Fit program. So please welcome Kanchi Khanna from Plaksha University, Namrita from Sanskar Valley, and Poonam Maheshwari from Legacy School, Bangalore. So welcome, we begin with the session now.
Hi, good morning everyone. I'm Poonam. I'm a counselor with Legacy School. So to start the day, we thought of starting it with Mentimeter. So can you all just log on to Mentimeter from your device and use this code, please? So what we want to know is, what do you mean by information overload? You know, if you relate it with admissions, universities, or maybe college, what do you mean by information overload? Can we have the Mentimeter display? One second. Code is 54292463. Code is 54292463. Oh, that's nice. Fomo. That was the first thing that came to our mind when we thought of this topic. Distraction, unwanted, confusion, data. Oh my God, data. Unknown. Wow, that's nice. Stress. It's 54292463. Yeah, it's on the top. Oh, that's okay. Clueless, that's the best word, I think, so Kanchi. Clueless, information overload.
No, I think overwhelmed was something that we came across over and over again, right? It's overwhelming. There's so much information out there. The whole point here today is that we all sit down, we discuss, and think of the best ways to sort of deal with so much information coming our way. The ultimate idea is that the student finds the best fit, right? So that was the topic we chose. I know it was a longish sentence as a topic, but we really wanted to bring home the fact that there's so much information out there. How do we do, and to what end are we doing this? So, Namrita, I know that you and Poonam both deal with information overload. So as a university representative, I don't think I deal with it as much as you both do. So would you like to sort of tell us how that works?
Definitely, Kanchi. And so before we start off with the challenges, I would just like to tell you that the three of us resonate with the topic because we started discussing with Kanchi, so much information coming to us. The parents and students, everybody, all stakeholders feel so overwhelmed with the information overload, and at the end of the day, they feel confused. So we thought, just work out around the possible suggestions that we can have. So we did a research with the university reps and the counselors all over the world, and these are the people who gave us the challenges and the best practices that they have seen and are being followed by different counselors or university reps. So here we bring to you the challenges and and we have tried to compile those best practices for you all. So the first challenge that it is the communication part. So communication is a big challenge because so many mails, emails, messages, WhatsApp messages, SMS, lots of things coming from university reps to the counselor, to the parents, to the students, everybody feeling overwhelmed. So let's see, Poonam, what do you have?
So again, I'll open it for the audience. If I talk about communication, and you have been on both the sides, I know there are counselors over here, and there are uni reps, wherein university reps have interacted with the counselors, and I know you are meeting with the parents also. So what do you feel is the biggest challenge when we talk about the way of communication or the way to interact? What do you think could be the possible challenges? Yes?
I think parents are curious, but they are not approaching the right person. They will ask the next door neighbor and say, okay, where did your child go?
Right,
Where did he
that's
go?
true.
And that's how they understand that that's the only information.
Yeah, that's too much of information from people around. Yeah, my family relative has some friend who went to US and that too to one of the university with 100% scholarship. How to deal with it? Yeah.
I don't know where to put it all and how to share it all out. There's so much.
Right, so many counselors. In every school, there are like 4 counselors, 2 counselors. There are teachers who are registered in various university websites. So many mailers. Whom to connect? Who's the right person?
Well, I mean, I can't forward everything to students.
Yes.
I get like they never look at an email from me again.
Exactly. And then it goes in spam or
Yeah.
junk. Yeah. Anyone else? Yes.
Sometimes they interpret the way the message in a different angle.
Oh yeah, that happens with me a lot. Yeah, right. So if I send mail from one university talking about liberal education and then I send a mail from another university talking about liberal education, they come up, ma'am, which one is the good one for me? I'm like, no, this is just an information for you. There are other parameters to analyze it. Yes.
I was going to say, managing expectations between what they want and maybe whether you're
Exactly.
family or others.
That's right. That's the biggest challenge because you don't know what kind of student crowd is there in that in that particular school, and every cohort is different. So my school students are from a different background. There could be another school in Bangalore. The students can be from a different background. Yes, please.
Having many communication platforms itself.
Oh yeah, that is true. That is true.
Message, phone,
Yeah, true. So anyone else? Yes. Yes, that's right. Communication to the right person at the right time. You know, the application deadline is it's gone, and then we're still getting mails. The application is still open. Yeah, that's created a lot of confusion. Yes, you.
Yeah, as a, I'm a counselor who's just entering the room, and one of the major challenges I face, and specifically with communication, is that I do not know at what time I should be, mailing the person, the university rep, and most of the time it's like I am just left like that. I'm not really
Connect. Yeah, that's true. So, oh, I'm so sorry. Hi. Yes. Oh yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of diluting of information happening if there's too much communication.
True.
Students are getting confused about
Yeah.
they go forward, and they register for it.
Yeah, so if we just by listening to 7-8 people over here, we could understand the university also faces the problem. As for being a counselor, right, Kanchi, we both are on the same board. They don't know who to connect in the school and what to share. And same as with us, whom do we connect in the university?
Yeah.
So we just tried to collect and gather the pointers that we could, and all of our challenges are same. Identifying the best way to connect either at the university or at the school level with the stakeholders, even with the parents. They don't want WhatsApp messages, they want mails. Some of them, they don't want mails, they want posters to be all around the school. There are so many ways. So these are the major challenges that we thought of. Overload of mailers. If I am a school counselor, there are teachers who are enrolled in same university, we get multiple mails about the same thing. I know the counselors will say a yes. Yeah, even the teacher will forward that mail to us. Same happens with the students, I get a mail, I forward it, the other counselor in my school gets the mail, she forwards it. So it's multiple mailers, messages from the university. So there could be 4 university rep whom we know, we get multiple messages on the same event which is happening. It's a kind of little, bugging at times, but then yes, we'll just figure out how to make a balance of it. Same as you said, parents receiving too much of information, which leads to confusion. And this is one of the biggest challenges which we as counselors, we are facing. They ask us to identify which university is best. They don't want to know which university is best for them, but then which university is best. They don't understand the ranking system. They don't understand what is their requirement, what will fit better for them. But then they want us to tell which is better. The last, okay, this I would leave on Kanchi to say, we need space, we need time. That's what, when to mail, when do we connect?
And I think this one resonates with both the university reps and the counselors as well. As much as we understand that as school counselors, there is so much information coming to you, multiple mails, multiple channels, but you also have to understand that we also feel that lack of respect many ways. I've had opportunities where I've traveled to another city, gone to the school, at the gate of the school, and the counselors told me, oh, I forgot about your session. You know, we spend a lot of money traveling, a lot of resources, time. We prioritize because, you know, there's a fair happening in Ahmedabad, there's a fair happening in Bombay. I have prioritized to come to your school, right? Nobody has 100 people in their teams. We show up and we realize, and it's not happened once, it's happened multiple times. They either forgot or they went on leave or they haven't arranged for it. It's just when they see you, they realize, oh God, she's here now. What do I do? Let me put the kids together. So they'll get a few kids together in one room and say, okay, talk to these. You know, and most of the times those are class 9, class 8 who, you know, we're not making sense to. So it's really important to respect that, you know, while and there's just one thing that I want to put there on the table. This is really not about selling. You're an educational institution, the schools, and so are the universities. They're both educational institutions, both where a student transitions from one to the other. If we develop that, you know, trust and respect for each other, there'll be no need for outreach teams. There'll just be a need for connecting and finding out if the student really fits there. So I think if we all work towards this, all work towards, you know, respecting each other, that would be great.
And
but equally, I think what you said about university reps, we've done that. We've gone unannounced to schools. And I think that we shouldn't do that at all.
And last, but then again, Kanchi, your point is also valid. When you don't know who's there in that school, you know, how will you actually talk? So the frequent changes in either university rep or the counselor, please tell them, please send a mail before you leave, a goodbye mail, and then, you know, sharing your personal credentials would be always good because we're going to be in the same field. So that's kind of challenge, you know.
Yeah.
We don't know who to connect, and frequent changes. That creates a lot of confusion.
And honestly, we are most of the times treated like salespeople. We turn up at the gates. We're told you can't meet anyone. So we say, can you give us the contact details of somebody in the team, somebody in the school we can reach out to? Leave your number, we'll get back to you. That never happens. That never happens. So just knowing who's the contact in the school, just the receptionist, just the guard at the gate should have that information. You're from a university. So-and-so is the counselor. Reach out to her, write her an email. We'll respect that. But when it's absolutely impossible to reach you, we don't know what else to do, and then we do things like too many WhatsApps and things like that. But anyway, Poonam,
So-
you were saying something.
Yeah, no, I was just planning to ask Namrita. So Namrita,
So yes, now I mean you've highlighted the challenges a lot. Let's get on to the solutions and the suggestions for that. As counselors, we just don't have to deal with ourselves, but also majorly with the parents and the students because they are the one feeling overwhelmed with the information overload. So I think it's very, very important to acknowledge their anxiety. I mean, come on, at the end of the day, they are the ones making decisions. The student has to go for a particular course. The parent would want a lot of information, collect that information. So it's okay to feel anxious. So, you know, you need to acknowledge their anxiety, that it's okay to feel this way. You can plan maybe, you know, one-on-one sessions with them. Like we do a lot of focus group sessions as well in our school. So if a particular chunk of students is interested in design or say into economics, we can just call them together and have it. Maybe 3-4 students in a group is also fine. So, you know, plan those kind of one-on-ones, focus group sessions, depending on the time that you have. That gives a lot of, you know, that helps the parents and the students that their curiosity, their anxiety is being valued by the counselor. And I mean, they feel very good and at peace that, you know, somebody is there to look after that. And you need to identify what works best in your school. So in our school, we have WhatsApp groups. From 9 to the 12th grade, we have different 4 WhatsApp groups. So depending on the information that needs to be shared with that particular group, we accordingly push that. So there's no information overload. Like suppose it's an application deadline. Now a 9th grader doesn't need to know that. But yes, my 12th grader needs to know. So I would just forward that information in the 12th grade. So, you know, the 9th is fine with it. So if there is any opportunity, like an internship opportunity or anything else, and if the eligibility is 9 to 12, then I forward in the 9th group. So accordingly, you need to identify what works best. I've seen a lot of counselors saying that, you know, males works best for us. So if that is fine, just push accordingly that, these are the 9th grade parents that they need to have this particular mail. And approachability, I think, Poonam, like it's not only counselor and the university reps, but even the parents and the counselor. So they're not directly dealing with the university rep, but they're dealing with the counselors. So you need to be very, very approachable to them. Yeah. At times, even the parents don't know in the school that who's the counselor, unless and until they face a problem. So you need to be approachable. You need to have fixed time that, this is the time I am available to meet, maybe take an appointment. Find a proper channel and, a way of communicating this to the parents that we are there for you. And same for the students as well.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, just to add on to it, so me being a counselor, what I do, so it might be helpful for the counselors here. So when the year starts, when the teacher, they send the mail, hi, you're in grade 9, now I'll be your class teacher, these are your teachers. I just send one mail, hi, I'm your counselor, I'll be your guidance counselor for the next 4 years. I'm available on this email, my ID, this is my place where I sit, you can come and meet me. That one small mailer goes. So the parents are also aware that, okay, there is a counselor who's there in the school, and, if we have anything, we can either drop in a mail. So it clearly defines, a mail at the start of the year really helps. Then do sessions with the kids, it doesn't have to be, so say grade 9, you don't have to have regular sessions. You can have one session once a month, just an maybe a career fair, plan it accordingly, or a subject orientation session, involve the teachers, do something like that. I feel that, your information should be there on the website for the children and the university officials to connect with you. And I believe that a normal email ID like a career counselor at a legacy school, Bangalore, is more than enough. In that case, even the university rep would be aware that, career counselor is the right email ID in that particular institute to send. Otherwise, they usually send it to info or contact us, and we don't get those mails. To be very honest, it hardly reaches us, because career, that goes to the HR, the info, that goes to the admission. So better, it's a suggestion, and make an email ID like career counselor at that particular school. So it's easier for all the uni reps to connect with you. Again, please, if possible, I know there are few groups which are going around on WhatsApp, wherein we have information about the counselors and the uni reps. I know you are there. If not there, maybe we will add you on to that groups. So there's a database. Every counselor keeps on updating it. Please update your information, share it with the right people. That is the way. When you are dealing with the university officials, you need to connect with them, and they need to connect with you. So share your credentials, and that helps in creating a kind of sort of effective campaign, right, Kanchi? If you have the information about who is the contact person in that particular school, you'll be able to connect with them more fruitfully.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely. And, then we're not trying multiple channels. I know that from our marketing teams, we always get this advice, use multi-channels. But I've realized the best students for your program will only come from recommendations and good relationships with counselors, because they understand the student as best, and then they can guide them to where they. So it's important that we establish that relationship, and only then will we be able to create campaigns which are very effective. Now I know that when I'm reaching out to say an IB school or an IGCSE school, I don't really have to focus so much on financial aid, because students most of the time are slightly more privileged, right? If I'm reaching out to say a Kendriya Vidyalaya school or something, I have to focus and make sure that my information that I'm sharing with them is relevant. Yeah. It's palatable. They're able to consume it in the way that we want them to. So it can't be one message that goes to 2,000 schools. You have to be mindful of what you're sending to the school and whether it's even relevant for them, whether the students will be appreciative of this kind of, say, a workshop or an interaction or whatever it is. So we'll have to be very careful. The university reps, please create these little buckets in your databases which say this is this kind of a school, wants this kind of communication. And like Poonam, you said, there are counselors who've told me, please send me a mail. And the counselors who tell me, please send me a WhatsApp, it's easier to forward. So I've not been mindful. I've been sending both to everyone all the time. But after this session, I'm definitely going to go back and make that segregation and make sure that I reach you the best way that the way that you appreciate. Also, post-COVID, we have to realize, and COVID's really not gone away completely. It's still there. we have to be more and more sensitive about our messaging, right? You know, like I said, don't treat this like a sales job, like you have to get numbers. If you're just mindful of whom you're writing to, what time of the day you're writing, what information you're sending, is this find topics which resonate with the entire sentiment of the country at that time. People are dealing with losses. You're sending mail after mail. You don't know who at the other receiver at the end is dealing with. So be careful on those things. Be sensitive. Make sure you're not sending multiple, like she said, multiple mails to people, you know, you don't know where they are right now. The whole COVID situation has told us how to be more and more sensitive in our communications, and I think we should do that, absolutely do that.
And how did you make a change, Namrata?
So what did we do post-COVID is we started this newsletter in our schools. This is just a few images of that. So rather than putting it on WhatsApp group every now and then, what we have done for the students, so once a year this newsletter reaches the parents in whatever form. I mean, it's mostly in the online form, so they just need to click on the link and they get all the information regarding the sessions that we had conducted over the period of time. The opportunities that were given to the students, like internship opportunities, competitions, and other profile building opportunities that they took up. The placement information, obviously, of the outgoing batch. So these are few things that we have tried to incorporate it, and we put everything together. And if even the whatever counselors are doing to update that skills are also put up on the newsletter, so that the parents know that the counselors are updating their skills. They are not just sitting there and Googling things. They are actually working. So even if we go to IC3 conference, the things that we have learned, everything goes on here.
Yeah.
So this is something. Moving on to our next big challenge, social media. I can see a lot of smiles on the faces.
And the expressions, oh my God.
So I think all of us have it, be it even the university reps, all of us as individuals are facing that excess of information because it's whatever is needed, it's more than. So there's an explosion of the same information happening on social media. And at the end of the day, you're like, oh God. And somebody mentioned about Fomo. So I think that FOMO happens through the social media thing.
So when we thought of this topic and we sat together and realized, Namrata, what do you think? She's like, FOMO. I'm like, too much of information. Then let's think about this topic only as our presentation topic.
And I think not that, just skipping the social media will make a better place in this world. It's just we have to accept it, but we need to use it wisely. That's all is important. You can't ignore social media.
Okay, so again, a quick Mentimeter. Can't see. I'll just.
No, that's another.
Yeah, the code is 5907.
Out of all these things, which one is the information overload for you?
Oh wow, there's a close competition between personal update and event and activity update. Oh, that's really tough competition, right? Personal update.
So I think all of us will take away that what we need. I mean, we just need to step back
Okay,
on certain
this is an
things.
eye opener, Okay, now we have to be cautious. People are posting personal updates more.
No, but honestly, I've seen we are using LinkedIn for celebrating birthdays, anniversaries, and then, at some point I feel sort of pressurized to press that like button, right? And we've talked about FOMO. But do we really need to do that? Do we really need to give out information about every visit, about every counselor we've met, that's not okay. When I was coming to the IC3 and I met Samir outside, I think most of you know him, and I said, Samir, we have to take a picture. I never take pictures and I never put them up. So, there is that sense of FOMO. Everyone's doing it. The same event, I've seen the same career fair. If there were 25 universities there, 25 universities putting up the update about that one career fair. I don't know what it's going to solve. I really don't know why we would need to do that, because it's not helping you. I don't know if it's showing our appreciation for the school. We should do that one-on-one. We don't need to put it on social media, right? Social media can be so very useful for some things like, students now are on social media. As a university rep, I have a lot of serious information on my website. It's about courses, about curriculum, about internships and all that. Students want to know what's campus life, what's student life, what's a day in the life of a student there. Use your social media to do that, to disseminate information which will be valuable for others. I don't think talking about my travel or my, this thing is going to, and especially on professional platforms like LinkedIn. What do you think?
Yeah, that's true. It just creates anxiety. So people like me who hardly go online and do courses, when I see a person doing some online course from Harvard, I'm like, oh my God, I'm not doing anything in my life. It's better that I update myself. Although my LinkedIn has somewhere around 12 certifications, and you won't believe I did some Python certification also, just because I saw it. So that's how it happened. So it creates anxiety, and I'm like, everyone is doing something. Where am I? Oh, my post has gone so down. So that's not right. It's one of the biggest challenges that I feel. I feel many of you would see that. And trust me, I stopped logging into my LinkedIn. It's too much for me. I can't absorb all that. And again, it's really very, very important for us to identify what is relevant and what is not. I mean, for a travel update, there is social media, like Insta, you've got Facebook. Use that. I don't think so. A professional networking should have an update about, okay, I'm at the airport, I'm going to Chennai. So if I had to find one of the counselors the other day on, international school in Chennai, when I Googled, then I found LinkedIn, and then I found a tag, international school in Chennai, and that was a travel update of an airport with a suitcase. I wanted to find the counselor. So that was what came up. So it's irrelevant. Right tags should be used for right things, right? Identify what is required. You can't tag everyone in the world, I know that's a social media way of doing it, but please understand, we have our own space. We need that kind of...
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. And please differentiate between personal and professional update. Professional sites are for professional update. Personal sites are for personal update. We would be more than happy to hear where Kanchi went for a holiday, but then not on LinkedIn.
Not on LinkedIn.
I'll connect with you on social media. Insta is a good place. But then
Absolutely.
Please, it's better for me to understand Kanchi has launched a new course in the university rather than knowing Kanchi is at a beach in Goa, right?
I wish that would happen soon. But anyway, yes, I completely agree with you. And like I said, repetitive information, repackaged and repurposed over and over again. Not to take away from IC3, we are a community, but honestly, in the last, I think 2 weeks, I've been tagged in 1 million posts. And if I wasn't feeling excited, I felt excited, and then I felt overwhelmed at some point. I was like, I'm not going to look at this anymore. But we really need to be mindful, like I said, with all of these. It's not to just get the many likes that
I hope you all are on the same boat as I am, or Kanchi or Namrita is, right?
And I think these challenges have come from all of you. So
Yeah,
when we
that's
actually had that Google form around, these are the challenges that the counselors mentioned that what we face.
But would anyone like to share? It shouldn't be just the three of us speaking, but would anyone like to share anything about social media use?
Ma'am, I do agree with the challenges that we face, but ma'am, there's a lot of pressure that comes in because parents as our clients are comparing schools and not coming to the campus but only through social media. That's how it has worked out. And
Agree.
not talking about the posting of airports, right? but talking about, that we're in a conference or something like that. Okay. There is a need that the demand comes in that that school is doing this, why are you doing that? And that is a pressure that comes in,
So
which
that-
forces us to.
Right. So, but then as a professional on this end, what I feel that we need to analyze our cohort, you know. So, how many of the parents are there on LinkedIn connected with you? That is what you have to analyze. There are hardly any. I know my students, I have to force them to go on LinkedIn when they're in grade 12 so that their profile can be displayed. But then the parents are more on, you know, Insta or Facebook. They're connected more on that. Use those platforms to share more information, I would say. You know, if, Kanchi, would you like to add to this? Because, you know, you need to identify what kind of cohort you are dealing with, what kind of parental you have, or what are the students that you are dealing with. That's what I feel.
Yeah. And I was in one of these IC3, sorry, I was in one of these regional forums where there was a panel of students who came on the stage and said, please stop spamming us with emails. We don't open your emails. You know, that was such an eye-opener for me. As university reps, we have those long engagement, you know, automated mailers that are going out to students. They said, we don't want it. We know there's enough information on your website. We want to know what's not there in your mailers. Connect with us on social media. They specifically said, hand over your social medias to your students. Tell them to talk to us. We want to talk to your students. We want to engage with your faculty. They don't want to listen to or read long emailers. It doesn't make sense to them. This is not the generation that engages with emailers. So we'll have to be agile. We'll have to understand who's where and whom am I targeting. And like you said, there is that sense of FOMO. Even I get this after so many years of doing it. But honestly, step back and think, is it helping your relationship with the counselor? That one post. Is she genuinely appreciative, or is it for our own management that we are putting it that I went to multiple places? So we'll have to ask those hard questions to ourselves and make sure that we behave like an educational institute, because a university is an educational institute too. We don't have clients, we don't have products, we have students we are dealing with. So once we accept that we are all educational institutions, we need to behave in a certain respectful way, I think we'll all sort of settle down to, you know, with fewer updates from all of us. Namrata?
So I think it's very, like Poonam and Kanchi highlighted, it's very important to prioritize what does your organization need. So like in our school, LinkedIn post specifically goes out not for parents. So if the school is posting something that the parents need to see, it generally goes on Insta or it goes on Facebook. So it's specifically for professional update that our school at least follows, and even as counselors, we only try to, you know, maybe connect with the university reps. The HR department obviously connects with the prospective employees. So, you know, we try to restrict ourselves. And sometimes it's, you know, okay to appreciate what other counselors are doing. They are doing a lot of things, but that might not be valid for you. That might not be relevant for you. And it's okay. So somebody might be doing a course from Harvard. It's okay. Great. You know, appreciate that. But it might not be the right fit for you as a counselor.
I liked it. Trust me, I liked it.
So next time, Poonam, you don't have to do a Python course. That might not be relevant for you. Just because somebody else is doing, because it might be required in their school. So if an IB school counselor is doing something, I come from an ISC school, so it might not be relevant for me. And I have to accept it. It's not like it feels overwhelmed. Oh, somebody is, you know, professionally updating themselves and I am not. But it's okay. Maybe you can just learn other things from them. And another thing that I feel overwhelmed with, the activities that others are doing. And I'm like, my school is not doing enough. But then I realized that I don't have to do everything in one go. So you need to make a calendar for yourself. What is right for your students, the right profile building activities. You don't need to connect with every organization, give every opportunity to the students, because that's confusing for them. So you need to identify. Yes, ma'am, please.
I was just going to say, and you don't know where people are in their own personal space in their lives.
Exactly.
So I happen to be in a space where, thankfully, my children are grown. I'm, you know, by myself. I'm in a new country, and so I have become a facilitator for other counselors, and I can get a lot more done and make things available to them. And they're like, "Oh my gosh, thank you
True.
as children or whatever. So
Yeah.
Definitely, I totally agree with that because individually I do feel overwhelmed at times, but I don't have that mental space and also the physical capacity to work so much. So, I need to give that break to myself at times that the family needs, or, your children need you, or the school needs you in some other sense, or, you need to focus on your cohort, maybe having one-on-one sessions more rather than just giving them more and more activities to do. So maybe just helping them with the career roadmap. So you need to identify the requirement. I think that's the most important part, and not only from the school, I think even for the university perspective, it's very important to identify the objectives that you are working with. And then
Namrata, it just brought me back to a time when we were preparing for this session. Me and Poonam were absolutely okay working at 11 o'clock at night, and we didn't realize Namrata has a baby she needs to end. So yeah, I think that's really very, very
So I
relevant.
think we've covered the lot of suggestions for social media. Any other suggestions? Most welcome from you. Otherwise, we move on to our next challenge.
So, yeah.
No, it's fine. My voice will be like this. You are making one very important point. Like, for example, there are so many career fairs, and the same unis go to all the schools, and everyone is posting the same. So you are getting the same updates again and again.
Because I'm mostly tagged,
Yeah.
irrelevant tagged.
Irrelevant tags.
Yeah. Now the point is, everyone has their own compulsions. And since you are in the common group, you are feeling that you are getting overload information. You are just the common link there, or you can say in the Venn diagram, you are the intersection there. But then they have so many wins which are not there. So it is compulsion for them to do. Maybe it's, for you it is information overload. The same thing you are talking about, you need to find out what is the relevant activities for us. Okay. Now, if I am not on a lot of social media, so it's almost going everything bouncer for me. I can say that because I'm not on Instagram or LinkedIn or whatever it is. I'm just starting in this. But the point is, since I am not on the social media, I don't understand what people are posting, what are the relevant tags or XYZ or what you're talking about. But the point is, if I get there, I learn new things, I will show up, right? And my school is also moving in that line, or new university moving in that line. That will also, so again it will be information overload to you, because again it's point of your perspective on, as man says, on what stage you are. So how to deal with it? And for you, I don't know, you may block me, I don't know.
No, I can't do that. Again, that comes to the same thing, socially I can't block you.
I don't know.
Professionally, I can't block you.
Honestly, that has happened to us. I think all the uni reps will agree with that. We have been blocked by counselors. Yes.
No, so it's not about blogging, but it's about prioritizing, like I said. So identify what is required by your institute or the organization that you're working for. When we mean too many, the events or the opportunities that you go for the students. So like if I am creating a design opportunity for profile building for my students, I don't have to create 10 opportunities in 1 year. So I need to identify that. Okay, obviously we need to know if you are doing something professional, you're updating your skills. We would definitely want to know, like I said, we appreciate others what you're doing, and that's a professional update. So obviously, if Namrata is doing something and Namrata puts it on social media professionally, which is relevant to others, and Poonam comes to know, oh, Namrata did a particular course, that's great.
Yeah.
So if she has to talk to Kachi, and if that's relevant, she can say, you know what, Namrata has done that particular course. So professional updates, most welcome. We are happy to know that. If I think Namrata sitting here is starting something in Red Pen, so we would definitely want to know that.
I was just about to say, so I still use your post on profile building and share it with the students. You and Ramya, you guys did that. It's still there. The series are still with me. I share it because it's relevant for my students. But then I can't share it with everyone. Yeah, but then it still helps for the students to understand what I have to do during summer, what are the options for me. I always share that. If you're there on LinkedIn, go and see this post. It helps. So that's what we are talking about, connecting with the relevant post, reading the write-ups, don't overload everything, right? Information overload again. So just coming back to everything that we, Namrata, you remember I said that this will be the topic which will take the maximum time. So moving on.
Namita had something to say.
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
I just want to say that I understand sometimes that it's information overload and that you might be tagged or not. I do that. I do tag people who I think want to know what I have to say. And if I'm ever over tagging you, please send me a DM and I'll stop. Please, I will not feel bad. But I also feel that LinkedIn is a place for you to talk about yourself professionally. And sometimes it doesn't necessarily have to be about your institution. It doesn't necessarily have to be about just the work you're doing.
Exactly.
I actually started this gratitude series. I run my own IEC, and I just thought it was super important to talk about appreciation. And every month, I just found someone in my network that I wanted to appreciate. And that might not be relevant to you guys, but I thought there's been so many people who really appreciate that post. And in fact, 10 admissions this year started introduced a new essay to say that students have to now write a letter to thank you, to thank somebody in their network about something that they've done. And I kind of did this for a year. So that might not necessarily be relevant to career counseling or profile development or fairs that I'm at or panels that I'm speaking on, but it's still something that's important to me, so I wanted to share it.
But Namita, I did follow all those posts, I remember. So did you, you were mentioning the people that were working with you. You are acknowledging them, the way they are doing. So again, I would say that was connected professionally because I might not know who all are working with you and what all have they done. I might just know Namita from Red Pen.
Namita, just one thing, I also appreciated people in my own family, not just professionally. I appreciated, say, somebody like my mother-in-law, who without her, I wouldn't be able to do what I do.
Yeah.
Or I appreciated my husband. So it's a combination of personal and professional, and I think that is what LinkedIn's about. It's not only just about pushing out professional updates and
Yeah.
talking about what we do.
So
There's a balance.
yeah, so as a counselor or as a person on the other side reading it, we have to make a balance. Is it relevant for me or not? How much do I have to react? It's not necessary that I put a thumbs up or a clap on every post that is there. If it's relevant for me, I can. The other thing is just to add on, if there's an event which has happened. So I had invited no offense, but then I invited 25 unis, Indian universities. I'm happy that they did not tag me. They tagged legacy, which was more than enough. It's okay. It's okay. They know me. I know them. The purpose was to serve the students and the parents. That was enough. And my school was also happy. Okay, there are no multiple posts, wherein Poonam is tagged, the principal is tagged, the vice principal is tagged, the other teachers are tagged. It's okay. Only legacy is tagged. The professional purpose of that event is solved, right? And everyone knows. So I got a call, Namrata, she was asking, Poonam, you did a fair? Yeah, I was like, yeah, how did it go? And then we discussed about it. So that's the way it has to be. You don't have to tag 10 people in that same organization. Just tag the institute. Some university is doing something, just tag the university. It's okay. Take permission from the person. Kanchi, I'm tagging you if it's okay. Kanchi would say, no, I was not there. No point of tagging me. Tag the institute. It's more than enough. That's the way. You have to make a balance and understand that you are also on the other side, the reading end. Right? So I know this is a topic which will continue forever.
I know,
but then
we might just exceed the time, but we just have to
So just connecting it with the career fairs. So next was the career fair. So
all
information.
Of us, all the counselors, we do, organize these career fairs, information sessions, webinars. That gets too much, especially during the COVID times. Those webinars were too much for the students. After a point of time, at least our students were like, ma'am, please. And we don't want, everybody doesn't want to sit in those sessions. You need to identify, the certain amount of students who will be the right fit for it. So even career fairs, meeting so many universities at one go, the information that's coming. So again, that feels overwhelmed. Parents, students, everybody feels overwhelmed. So I just give it to Kanchi and Poonam.
So Kanchi, let's quickly. 3 university reps, please tell me what are the challenges when you have to, plan a career fair, Kanchi?
No, I think a lot of you will resonate with what I say. I've attended, most schools are now moving towards the career fair model. They're not inviting us for sessions. It's more a career fair. Honestly, it could be the first step. It can't be the only engagement we do with the school. We go there, we sit there. We have a flood of class 9th coming in. They have no clue who you are. They come in, you do the whole pitch like 100 times over. And they're like, oh, but I'm interested in design. And I've given the kid the whole thing about BTech in computer science, right? I do that for an hour and a half, sometimes 2, with 100 ninth graders, then come in the 10th graders, then come in the 11th, and by the time the 12ths come in, the career fair is open. We probably get 2 or 3 people visiting our fair and asking relevant questions. Otherwise, we start from scratch, who we are, what we are selling, what we are doing, and in the end, the kids are not even, and believe me, your class 9th really needs to know when they're coming into a career fair what they should be doing. They're just picking up flyers, they're not engaging. Honestly, I've now printed smaller, thinner flyers for class 9th and 10th because I can't carry as many, and I have a separate set for grade 11 and 12.
I think, Kachi,
but
you should share that example of a school that you had visited.
So one of the
No
schools, and I would
offense.
love to actually name him, is Karthik, a very dear friend from Ooty, Lawrence Ooty, and one of the best managed fairs I've ever attended. So when I reached there, just at the door, there was a set of printed papers where Karthik had, done his research, printed it out, written, Ashoka University, this is what it is, this is what I think. So his comments under it, and he had done that research for every university, printed it out, kept those papers right outside the hall so that anyone coming in could pick it up. But before that, even before that, he had done sessions with his students, introduced them to every university that was going to be at the fair. There was no confusion. Students knew where they want to go, which desk they want to do, and he was right there at the entrance, making sure, guiding his students, why don't you go and talk to this university? This would be a good fit for you. And he knew each one of his students. I mean, we came away feeling so satisfied and having had such fulfilling conversations that I really wanted to bring this to a larger thing, and we must applaud Karthik for the way he manages it. He's not here. I asked him to come for the session, but he's probably not come for the conference. But they do that. Whereas there have been other fairs where they just outsource it to a consultant. The counselor's nowhere on the campus. You don't meet her. You don't get to talk to her. You're standing there handing out flyer after flyer with no conversations.
Yeah.
So that's
true. As a counselor, I'll say it's not difficult to connect with the university rep. They're very approachable. So, just talk to them. I wouldn't say that you don't need an external person to manage it, but then it's easy. You don't have to call 30 unis or 70 unis. You can call 5 only. But then make it sensibly right for the kids. Again, calling 9th graders for a career fair is waste. When I invite the university officials, I say that brochures will be for grade 12, 11, 12. Grade 9, 10, just leave it. Don't give anything. And I know kids come, ma'am, I've got a colorful flyer. Oh, this is so fun. And you don't have to go and collect the flyer. It's not required for you. Just go and listen, stand behind the grade 12 and just listen to the session, to the presentation. I really had one parent who said, we were behind the university rep. We were standing there waiting for the 9th graders' parents to move out of there because they were asking everything around the world. That particular university was where. So it was a uni in, New York. So they wanted to know everything about US in that, 5-minute slot. So that's not possible. Please identify which kind of crowd do you want to, cater to at that time. Again, talking about the challenges, as we're short of time, we'll do it quickly.
Exactly. I was saying that challenges are there here, but also Poonam, what you did in Legacy School this year, when you organized the career fair, I've heard about it from a lot of university reps.
Absolutely.
So, we would like to know about that as well.
So I got to hear from one university rep that he's going to talk about it in one of his sessions also, right? So what I did was basically I identify what are the students that I want to. I did not invite every university. I had to say a no to a few universities. What I did was I identified the universities where my students apply or have offer from. Rather than calling, it was an Indian university, fair. So I had 23 universities. So looking at my cohort size and my student requirement, I invited them. So I had students and the parents from grade 11 and 12, but then they were more focused. So when they came on the day, there was a kind of a career dozer that I made for them, wherein I took this information from the university rep. They were more than happy to share the kind of courses that they have. So I'd shared one sheet with them and asked them to fill it up. The kind of courses, the fields, and their USP, which was shared with the student when they walked in on the career day. So they were aware they don't have to go and meet say a designing institute for engineering, they'll not have it. A fashion designing institute won't have engineering. Don't waste the time. Just look at that sheet. So I've got a sample of that in the next slide. So just look at the sheet, just see the universities that are relevant for you. It's not necessary all 23 will cater to you. Just see whatever is good for you, go and meet them. Don't waste the time of the university rep. They're here only for 1.5 hours, and you don't have the world's entire time to stand there. So again, plan it according to your calendar and just inform the universities well in advance. That is what is more important. And try to make it more meaningful, engaging. Identify the parents who would be benefited. I mean, don't call the parents who are looking at US to come and chat about the twining program in one university present over there. It's waste of time. You can connect with them later on and tell them that they can connect with the university. It's just wasting time of the university rep. So we need to respect their time also. Again, we are planning it as an academic, taking time out of the academic slot that the student has. So it's really important for us to do that. Again, so I did not do it, but then I know Namrata and their group did it. So they collaborated with the schools in, Bhopal and Indore. So when there was a, university rep or a cohort going there, they visited all the three places, right?
Yeah, so even during COVID times, what we did is rather than just catering to our school, we collaborated with, schools in Indore and Gwalior, and also that, the university rep, they cater to that region. Otherwise, just going to that specific school you might not get so many students at the same time. So we just collaborated, and we still do. I think Asma was sitting here, and we still collaborate on a lot of sessions that the university rep is coming. Maybe they can just come and meet you. So yeah, moving on to our last challenge for the day. So it's basically
One second, we have that.
No, so we're just running out of time.
It's not moving. It's stuck.
Can we move the slide forward, please?
Okay, so this was a rough thing. I don't know, is it visible? So, but then I wrote the names of the unis and the, possible career fields that are available for the students. So when they walked in on the campus, I made them register. There was a Google, mail. So Google has a lot of facilities. You just utilize it. It'll just ease out your work. So a mail goes to them by default, and this Excel was shared with them. So someone who's looking for, say, branding and advertising, they know which university they can go. Just go there. Don't waste the other's time. That's what is more important.
You can just mail Poonam.
I can share this if you want.
Share this with you.
So again, I won't say this is 100% accurate, but then I tried 95% accuracy. Trust me. It was from the universities only. I did not do anything.
So our last challenge is about the university offerings and opportunities. The information that comes from universities. So as counselors, as parents, students, we don't want too much information. Hence, we need to know what are the USPs, the flagship programs of your universities, because that's what parents need to know first. If I'm recommending XYZ university, they want to know, okay, what are they famous for? They might be having hundreds of programs, but what is that one program or two programs that they're really famous for? The scholarship options, the information regarding that is not very, very clear. The working opportunities, the co-op and the internship, the work-study options. So, give us clarity on that. The parents wants to know that. And another thing that we have faced, that when the students put an application to the university, we don't get a lot of feedback as to these are the students, what is the application status, when did they apply, have they completed the application or not. So we just have to call the reps and ask them how many students have applied, what is the current status, and whether they've gone for the interview, because tracking students from our end gets difficult. So we just expect a little feedback from your end. We can just go ahead quickly, Poonam, because
I know we're out of time. So, and the last thing, as a counselor, sometimes we get a feedback that the universities are there just to market themselves. That's what you started with, right?
Yeah.
The students and parents, they're just marketing themselves. They don't have so much facility. So this is the kind of challenge. Talking about the
universities feel that, the career fair is really not always the best platform for us to tell about what we are offering. You don't have enough time, and it's not the kind of mind space where you can really communicate what you are offering.
So I think we just browse through the slides and we open it for the questions.
Yeah.
So quickly, the suggestions for the counselor, please. Again, I'm saying the same thing. Please analyze your crowd. Understand what unis are required. Of course, I understand the exposure is also required. But then just analyze what information is relevant for your students and not, and what is not. Again, clear communication inform the kids, inform the parents what kind of universities are coming. If they are, actually, fitting it, then they should attend the sessions and, talk to them. Organize sessions, understand the need. That's what. It's coming back to that. You know your school, you know the kind of university, you have to make a balance. You can't expect the university to make the balance for your student, right?
We also open it for questions. Meanwhile, we are just browsing through the slides.
Oh, sure. Oh, we're so sorry, we're short of time.
Yeah, I mean, we are just over that.
Yeah, can we move on? Yes. Kanchi, you want to take this?
Yeah, for universities, I think we've more or less covered these things already. But what I'd really like to highlight here is that you need to create a value proposition for schools. It works in your favor, not theirs only, because you are able to communicate what your course, would bring to the table. So, a workshop which introduces students to data science, AI would help my university. If you're talking about liberal arts, make sure you bring in a workshop which is very, very interdisciplinary. Tells them it's like a sneak peek into what the classroom at that university would be. There's no better way to market it or to promote it, because the students love engaging with faculty, especially with the overload on the fatigue which is there with Zoom. Students are not coming to our info sessions. But if it's a faculty involvement, if it's a good workshop that they feel they can learn from, then definitely they'll be there, and you don't need to talk a lot about your university.
Yeah, that's the takeaway.
Yeah. And also, sort of, like, I think Namrata touched upon it, that schools need to sort of club themselves. It just makes our life so much easier. I'm in J&K today and Kochi tomorrow. It's very difficult. Our lives are very hectic as well. So if we are coming to your town, please do collaborate with other schools. It will really help us.
And for the counselors, to be very honest, it's partnership. You can't do it alone. You need the other counselors, you need the university rep. Otherwise, it's no use. I can't just, out of the blue, just talk about a university. It's a collaborative process. And again, coming back, understand your stakeholders, understand their needs, and then identify the requirements and then take decisions. Just for the sake of increasing the number of university visits in your list, don't call them. No, it's not right. You are not doing the justice to your profile. Again, I recommend make plans, share with the universities that we are planning to do a fair in December. Please share your availability and then plan accordingly. I'm telling you, the uni reps are really helpful. They tell you when they're free, they're in the city, and they help you with the planning stuff. You don't have to have a 5-hour session for them. Half an hour, fruitful half an hour is more than enough, right, Kanchi? Yeah, that works out best. Right way of communication, it's just a quick takeaway, summarizing the entire thing. Data management, it's really important. As I said, write information about the uni official, write information about your students, your cohort, their requirement. You, as a counselor, you need to know what is required. And last is collaborate with the other universities and the counselors, right? And
Vikram wants to say something.
Yes, Vikram.
There are all kinds of schools. So you don't have to follow a model that works for someone else. A lot of times, if it's a huge CBSE school, and there's one counselor. I have known of schools which has 500 students and one counselor. So in those situations, maybe just a plain career fair where there are 50 universities will work, because you just don't have the time. A lot of times when we go to career fairs, we are asking students, why did you choose economics? Like we try to become career counselors sometimes, though we are not as qualified as most of you. But I think that's what you need to do. I think we can't have a cookie cutter approach. And also it depends on the life cycle in which the school is in. Are you a more evolved school where your children are more aware? Or are you a school which is just setting up a career counseling office? So I think you need to do what is right, like Poonam said. Talk to your children and parents and what are they expecting. I think that's at the end of the day our objective. So
thank you so much, Vikram, for making the counselor's suggestion more easy. We just have anyone for a quick...
Yeah, guys, 2 more questions or comments, because I'm so sorry, but we had a hard stop at 9:45. So, yeah, 2 more questions, suggestions, and then I would really request you all to fill in those feedback forms and hand it over to us. And then I would request you to head to the ballroom. All right. Do we have anybody? Anybody wants to say something? Share their thoughts?
Actually, I just wanted to share one last thought. When university reps, when you are reaching out to schools, when you're creating your collateral, please make sure that you have all those things that Poonam mentioned on one slide. Do away with the generalization and do away with the fluff. Interdisciplinary, hands-on learning, everyone is saying it. It's not setting your university apart. Tell them what your university really is doing differently. It's important, it'll be valuable for the counselors.
We have someone for
Thank
the
you.
question, I guess.
Hi, I'm Rita. There's a practice that I want to learn from anyone who follows here. When you said that, okay, USP for different universities, because you meet universities more than the parents and the students, how do you collate that and then share it on a regular basis, or do you do it on a monthly basis, or how do you practice something?
So I can share that. What I do is, I can't send mailers every time I get information from here and there. So I've created a Google Classroom. That's what I was saying. I use Google a lot. I've created a Google Classroom, only the view rights to the parents, to the students, and added their personal email IDs only, everything. I get a mail, I post it there. That's it. It's done for me. It's on them, they can go back. Google Classroom is really good. They can just go back, scroll up, and it's there. It's there. And again, I create this kind of the Excel for the students. So whenever I get to know there's some new program, I just put a tick mark over it. And the student has this access. It's again there on the Google Classroom. It eases my work. And again, adding on, my cohort size is smaller, but then when we were discussing it with Namrata, she also found it very helpful. So you can just see what works best for you. Okay?
I think data management, be it any cohort size, is always helpful. So as counselors, we need to do a little more of efforts and just collate the data in the right way. Initially, it will definitely take a lot of time, but in the long run, it will be very, very helpful.
So this is our email ID. You can share
Thank you so much. You've been a wonderful audience. Thanks for your comments.